For 50,000 years, the galaxy believed humanity was extinct. Their name had faded into myth, their worlds turned to dust, their sun a grave marker in a forgotten corner of space. Children of the younger races whispered old stories, tales of a species that once burned brighter than any star and vanished just as quickly. Beware the ones who dreamed too far, the elders would say. Beware the humans, the gods of war who defied death itself and lost. To most, it was a fable. To the scholars of the Galactic Concord, it was a warning written in blood and radiation, the ruins of Earth still scarred into the cosmic record. But the universe has a strange sense of timing. Sometimes legends don't die, they sleep. It began as a whisper, faint, fragile, and impossible, a repeating radio pattern pulsing through the cosmic background noise.
The galactic listening array on the rim of the Orion arm had been silent for centuries, a relic from a war no one remembered. But then, it heard something. A pulse, repeating, structured. The technicians of the Varn Dominion stared at the waveforms flickering across the hollow screens. At first, they thought it was cosmic noise, a dying pulsar, or background radiation. But the signal repeated with mathematical precision. Binary, rhythmic, intentional. The chief analyst's 4 eyes widened. This pattern, it's Terran. The room froze. That word hadn't been spoken in 10,000 years. Legends said humanity had burned themselves out long before the Council's rise, victims of their own wars. Yet this transmission carried the same digital fingerprint buried deep in ancient archives, the language of a species that refused to die. And then came the sound. Hidden inside the data stream, a voice, distorted and ancient, whispering through static, "We are not gone." The technicians sat in stunned silence. The signal came from a dead sector, from a world long marked as sterilized. The humans were extinct. So who was broadcasting from Earth?
The Galactic Council chamber was never quiet until that day. The moment the report reached the high table, even the air seemed to hesitate. Representatives of 57 species sat in a ring of gold and light, each one murmuring in disbelief as the hologram of the Terran signal rotated above them. The voice repeated softly, "We are not gone." Ambassador Trell of the Kahari clicked his mandibles in frustration. "This is impossible! Humanity annihilated themselves during the Carbon Wars! We confirmed it!" A deep, rumbling voice answered, the Archon of the Varn Dominion. "Confirmed," he said slowly, "by archives they left behind. We have never verified it ourselves." A low wave of whispers rippled through the chamber. The Kethar delegate leaned forward, eyes glowing faintly. "If this signal is real, then something survived. And if something survived, then it remembers," finished another, her tone trembling. Images flickered on the central display, historical records of the ancient human wars, worlds burning, ships the size of moons, fleets tearing stars apart in fury. Half the council members couldn't bear to look. The speaker's voice broke the silence. "If the humans return," he said, his tendrils tightening, "do we greet them or prepare for extinction?"
The Council's decision came swiftly. Fear made them efficient. Within a single rotation, an exploration fleet of 9 vessels was assembled. Their mission, confirm whether Earth, the cradle of humanity, still existed. Captain Varus of the Zath Coalition commanded the flagship Vigilant Dawn. He had studied ancient Terran myths his whole life, tales of gods in human form, of wars that burned galaxies, but he had never believed them until the signal. As his ship cut through slipspace, Varus stared at the dark screen before him. No stars, no radiation, just the silence of the void. Then, the sensors blinked. "Captain," said his navigator, voice trembling. "Gravitational anomaly detected, dead ahead." The display flickered again, showing coordinates deep within Sol Sector, a region marked on every chart as radioactive wasteland. When the Vigilant Dawn exited warp, the crew fell silent. Earth was there, blue, shining, alive. Clouds swirled across a calm ocean. Satellites orbited like watchful eyes, and artificial structures glittered on the moon's surface. The planet that should have been dust was reborn. "Record everything," Varus whispered. "This will change the galaxy." But before his words finished echoing, every system on the bridge flickered again. Communications jammed, engines stalled, power drained. A voice filled the comms, ancient and calm. "Identify yourself. This system is under Terran protection." Varys froze. It wasn't the voice of a ghost. It was human.
The bridge of the Vigilant Dawn fell into stunned silence. Every alien officer stared at the comms display as the voice repeated, calm, human, and impossibly alive. You are trespassing in soul space. State your intent. Captain Varys tried to speak, but his throat went dry. It had been millennia since a human voice was last heard, yet this one sounded clear, deliberate, commanding. This is Captain Varys of the Zaith Coalition, he stammered. We come in peace. The galaxy believed your kind extinct. A pause followed, a silence so heavy it felt like gravity itself. Then the voice replied, colder this time. Extinct? No. We evolved. Every monitor on the bridge flickered. The planet below shimmered with faint geometric lights, a web of energy pulsing like a living thing. Data streams burst across the screens, encryption so complex the ship's AI melted down trying to read it. And then, the face appeared. A hologram materialized in the center of the bridge, a human, or what once had been one. Eyes burning with soft glue life, skin metallic but warm, and behind him, the vast image of Earth, wrapped in a lattice of defense satellites and shimmering energy shields. You abandon this world, the human said, voice echoing through their minds. Now you return, curious, afraid? Tell your council, humanity is not a myth. We are the consequence of your arrogance. The hologram faded. Power returned to the ship. Varys's hands trembled as he whispered to his crew, record this and pray they let us leave. The transmission spread across the galaxy in hours. Every listening post, every spy array, every capital world replayed the same chilling message. Humanity is not a myth. We evolved. The Galactic Council convened an emergency summit. In a chamber large enough to hold the fleets of 10 empires, thousands of alien delegates shouted over one another. Some called for diplomacy, most screamed for war. The direct warlord slammed his talons on the table, his voice rattling the chamber. They were extinct. Their world was dead. I saw the reports. The Sol system was ashes. The Vorthi emissary hissed. Then what speaks now, warlord? Ghosts? But above them, a live feed shimmered into view. Deep space telescopes trained on Sol. The image revealed a fleet emerging from the shadows of Jupiter. At first, it looked like a debris field, old ships, broken stations. Then the debris moved. Thousands of vessels aligned in perfect formation. Each one bore the same symbol, the ancient insignia of Earth's United Nations, reforged in black and silver. And leading them was a colossal warship the size of a moon. Its hull shimmered with gravitational ripples, bending light itself. The crowd fell silent. One trembling voice broke through. This is impossible. No species could survive the entropy wars, let alone rebuild in isolation. The oldest of the council, a crystalline being named Ithis, spoke with a slow resonance. They didn't survive. They transcended. Then, as if to confirm his words, a new signal appeared, transmitted directly from the human flagship, codenamed Aegis Prime. This is the Terran ascendancy. To all who abandoned us, your cycle of dominion ends. We remember everything. All across the galaxy, ships powered down in shock, planets went dark. The myths had returned, and they weren't here to talk.
The galaxy held its breath. For 10,000 years, the great empires had ruled uncontested, their fleets vast, their arrogance unmatched. But now all their pride meant nothing. Humanity, the species they thought extinct, had returned, and they had come prepared. From the cold void beyond Pluto, the Terran fleet advanced. No bright hulls, no banners, no fanfare, only silence and purpose. Their ships moved like shadows, each pulse of their engines wrapped in gravitational sheaths that devoured light. They didn't broadcast warnings, they didn't announce peace, they simply came home. On the Galactic Council's central world, chaos spread. Millions tuned into the live feed of the approaching armada. Some believed it was a trick, others prayed to forgotten gods. Then, for the first time in millennia, the humans spoke again, their message echoing through every comm relay, every translator, every heart. To those who remember us as monsters, you were right. To those who mourned us, your mourning ends. We are the consequence of your mercy. The words hit like thunder. No one could understand what they meant until the Aegis Prime, humanity's flagship, activated its front array. A shimmering sphere of blue light rippled out from its core, scanning every nearby vessel. Within seconds, entire fleets lost control of their engines, their weapons locked not on the humans, but on themselves. It was a statement, a warning, a demonstration of superiority. But then, the humans powered it down, and for the first time the true message became clear. "We have no interest in conquest," said the human commander, a woman whose voice resonated with calm authority. "We remember what war costs. We remember extinction. We will not repeat it, but we will not kneel again." The broadcast ended, leaving the galaxy trembling. Hours later, aboard the Drek warlord's flagship, the commander stared at the stars. Once, he'd believed the humans were demons, chaos incarnate. Now he saw something worse. Not demons, not gods, just survivors. Unbroken, unbound, unstoppable. He whispered softly, as if to himself. They were never myths, only waiting. In the following months, every empire sent envoys to Earth. No one dared threaten them. No one dared even orbit Sol without permission. And those who came expecting hostility found something else entirely. Humanity, rebuilding not just worlds, but hope. Cities rose again on Mars, vast orbital rings shimmered around Venus, and AI voices sang from the digital oceans of Neptune. Humanity wasn't here for revenge. They were here to lead, to guide the galaxy out of its decay. Yet behind every act of peace, every diplomatic word, there was an unspoken truth that every alien knew, that if the galaxy ever turned on them again, humanity wouldn't rebuild a second time. They would end it. And so the legends spread once more. In every tavern, in every academy, in every dark corner of the stars, a single saying returned, whispered with awe and fear alike. "Beware the silence of Earth. For when the humans return, the stars remember who taught them how to burn."